it's such a luxury. Therefore, Arsenal pit their wits against Fulham fewer than 72 hours on from a fiery stalemate with Atletico, who gave away a penalty for Victor Gyökeres to convert, who won one of their own for Julian Alvarez to hammer home, and escaped conceding another for a David Hanko foul on Ebere Eze. A fuming Arteta did not hold his tongue when discussing the latter incident, but Arsenal are nevertheless in a favourable position ahead of next week's second leg, having equalled an all-time club record in the Spanish capital. Back-to-back domestic matters, Arsenal stopped the Premier League rot with a classic unconvincing 1-0 win against Newcastle last weekend, snapping a run of 4 straight losses across the League, FA Cup and EFL Cup action, and moving 3 points clear of Man City in the process. Arteta's men can now open up a 6-point gap at the summit of the Premier League as the Sky Blues not play again until Monday night against Everton, and their astounding record of just 11 goals conceded at the Emirates in this top-flight campaign makes for worrying reading for their goal-shy visitors. A few hours before Arsenal's nervy 1-goal victory last weekend, Fulham snapped their scoreless sequence courtesy of an identical triumph at home to Aston Villa by virtue of Ryan Sessegnon's first-half finish. Marco Silva's men have failed to fire in a 2-0 loss to Liverpool and goalless draw with Brentford prior to the visit of the Villains, but the Cottagers are now at least somewhat back among the goals amid a particularly trying attacking period. Indeed, Fulham have only found the back of the net in 2 of their last 7 games in all competitions, netting a mere 4 goals in that time. They slipped down to 10th in the standings coming into this weekend, albeit though they came this weekend just 2 points below Brighton, who actually have lost to Newcastle this afternoon, and European sojourns are therefore still not out of the question for the away side, but whether they will compete on the continent under Silva is a different matter, as the Portuguese is thought to be one of the top contenders for the vacant Chelsea job. For now, Silva is simply striving to end Fulham's 3-game winless and scoreless run on the road, while also bidding for a Cottagers club first. The visitors have never won a Premier League away match against a team starting the day at the top of the table. And the unpleasant statistics keep on coming for Fulham fans, as Arsenal have not lost any of their previous 32 league home games against Cottagers, the most one team have ever gone without defeat to a single opponent in English football history. Let's talk you through a lineup starting with Arsenal. So Calafiori, Lewis Skelly, Saka, Eze and Trossard all coming in for Nkapio. Erdegaard is out with a knee issue, Zubimendi, Madueke and Martinelli. So lineup and forwards: David Ryan goal, back four Ben White, William Saliba, Gabriel and Ricardo Calafiori. Midfield consists of Declan Rice, Miles Lewis Skelly and Ebere Eze. Bukayo Saka on the right, Leandro Trossard on the left, and Victor Gyökeres leading the line. As for Fulham, Anthony Robinson comes into the lineup for Ryan Sessegnon. So it's a blow for Fulham to have Sessegnon out. He has a knock, and also coming into the side for Fulham is Harrison Reed, with Sander Berger dropping out of that midfield. Lineup and full for Fulham is Bernd led on goal, of course the former Arsenal man. Back for Timothy Castagne, Joachim Andersen, Calvin Bassey and Anthony Robertson. Harrison Reed and Sasa Lukic in midfield, with another former Arsenal man, Emil Smith-Rowe, just sitting in front of them. Samuel Chukwueze on the left, Harry Wilson on the right. What a season Harry Wilson's having. Raul Jimenez leading the line. Arsenal's bench is Christian Mosquera, Pierre Nkapie, Gabriel Jesus, Gabriel Martinelli, Kepa, Christian Norgard, Noni Madueke, Martin Zubimendi, Max Dowman. I think Dowman maybe have a big impact off the bench. He did have that impact against Everton in a late kick-off on Saturday night at the Emirates just last month, in March. And Fulham's bench is Kenny Tete, Rodrigo Muniz, Tom Kenny, Oscar Bob, Oye Cuenca, Jonah Asare, Benjamin Lecomte, Josh King and Issa Diop. We are ready to get underway at the Emirates. Of course, the Arsenal fans will be feeling the nerves at every game, but now it's the end of the season. Again, they've just got to keep them intact as Fulham go long from the kick-off. Chested down from Gabriel to Trossard. Lifted now from Gabriel. And Bassey and Anderson got each other's way there for a second, but Bassey managed to head it from the centre circle. Now nodded from Gabriel. Header one for Castagna. Flick on from Reed. Reed goes down just in front of the halfway line to get back to his feet now, Harrison Reed. As Gabriel plays it into the centre circle, then the referee has to blow the whistle. There's obviously precaution. Reed going down, holding his head for a second. As the rain starts to come down here in North London. There's a flash with a flick on one from Reed against Lewis Skelly. Looks like Lewis Skelly's still on the ankle of Harrison Reed. So I thought initially it was an issue with the head for Harrison Reed. That's not to be the case. First midfield start today for Mars Lewis Skelly. So a great opportunity for him to shine in that position, which is his more natural position. Drop ball for Saliba. Across to Declan Rice, who drops in between the two centre-backs. Saliba now. Short pass to White. Infield here. And it's a push there for Harrison Reed on Lewis Skelly. It was a clear shove. Just over a minute to play in Arsenal. Playing it across the back from the free kick. White to Saliba. Now he picks up Gabriel. Left foot on top of the ball. Just a few yards behind him for Declan Rice. By the centre circles, Lewis Skelly in the Arsenal half. Returns it to his midfield partner. Saliba again to Rice. Rice getting a lot of touches on the ball already. Now Saliba coming towards the halfway line. Saliba, lovely line, breaking past. Eze can't take it under a spell. On the inside right, Bassi now to Robertson. Infield, Gyökeres looks to tackle. It's hit forwards first time for Lukic. Johnny's fast Lewis Skelly, 30 yards and goal. Turns away from Reed. Lewis Skelly tries to slide it through for Calafiori. Bounce off his hill. And now Lewis Skelly heads it down for Trossard. Trying to run for Castagna. Trossard across the face of goal. And wide of the target. That's good there from Arsenal. Pinning Fulham back. Lewis Skelly composed midfield. And Lukic gave it straight to Lewis Skelly. Lewis Skelly held off Harrison Reed. Played a left-footed pass. Just hit the back of Calafiori's heel. Then Lewis Skelly headed down for Trossard. Trossard against his fellow countryman Castagna. Trossard found that gap to hit it across the face of goal. There was no takers though. Gyökeres is not alert enough to it. So goal kick for Joachim Andersen to take. So Andersen drills it. Laces of the right boot. Jimenez in a bit of pocket space. It flew over halfway. Jimenez flicks on. Bounce off of Rice. Control for Calafiori. Calafiori now lifts it over Jimenez. And now it's going away for Calafiori. Eze fights to get the ball back off of Lukic. Lukic takes it into the Fulham half. First time from Robertson. Flip from Chukwueze. Now Saliba to Saka. Takes heavy touch though. And Castagna duly obliges to get on the ball. It's backwards here for Bassi. Chukwueze. First time to Robinson. Chukwueze again. Chukwueze left footed. Now slowly come forwards is Joachim Andersen towards halfway. 3 minutes on the clock. Andersen with one of his trademark diagonal balls into the attacking third. Lovely touch there for Chukwueze. He's up against Ben White. He wrong foots Ben White. Chukwueze gets the cross in. Cleared out the box from Declan Rice. It's good work there from Chukwueze. Just a wrong foot Ben White. Chilled in low cross but cleared away. Or a throw for Anthony Robinson to take. On the left-hand side. Robinson's throw. Nice touch there for Smith Rowe to the box. Smith Rowe puts a light cross in, easily volleyed out the penalty area from Saliba. Robinson midway in the Arsenal half. Sent it back into his own half now to Bassi. He's a couple yards behind the halfway line. Bassi now looks at Chukwueze, intercepted from Rice. Eze turns, facing his own box. And now, in the end, Smith Rowe wins it back against his former club, the club who made him. He's a hail them boys. Emil Smith Rowe. Robinson links up with Sasa Lukic. Lukic now clips it left footed over halfway. Calm header from Saliba. Incepted on halfway from Bassi. Now Reed, Smith Rowe plays it backwards. Here is Leno. Controls it on the line of his area. Now takes it into his box and he'll just pick the ball up in his light blue kit here. Burn Leno. 4.5 minutes gone here at the Emirates. It's Leno searching through the middle for Jimenez. Jimenez, ball bounces off his midriff. Now the second ball falls to Rice. And now Saliba. It's a centre circle to Lewis Skelly. Lewis Skelly plays it left-footed. And now Saka. Saka midway in the Fulham half. Can he get on the outside of Robinson? Saka needs out. Has that White and behind him. That pass and Saka didn't reach White. It's a touch on Saliba to White. Saliba just by the centre circle. He plays it right-footed. Threw it to Gabriel. Now backwards here for Saliba. Ben White in possession. Now tapped it to Rice, being pressed there from Smith from Harrison Reed. Then Arsenal go backwards. White to Riot. Just over 5 minutes played at the Emirates as a daisy cutter ball from David Riot. Arsenal 0, Fulham 0. Calafiori knocks it back to Gabriel. And Arsenal can crank up that pressure on Man City in their game at Hill Dickinson on Monday night. So Riot just behind the D. Now here's Declan Rice, walks it out the D and plays it to his left to Gabriel. Lewis Skelly wants it in behind of Jimenez. Now Lewis Skelly has room to receive it. Lewis Kelly into the centre circle. First half of Gyökeres dropping deep. White's on halfway. Now White forwards on the near side to Saka. Saka now trying to cut inside of Robinson. Saka 25 yards and goal. Saka now more central position. Trossard lays it off to Lewis Kelly. Arsenal attacking third on the inside left. Lewis Kelly square right in the middle for Rice. Rice right footed. White edge of the box now. Ben White then goes backwards to Saliba, but Saliba's pushed up high. Gabriel 35 yards from goal through the middle. Lay off for Gyökeres now to Calafiori, edge of the box. Now Calafiori, Eze turns edge of the D. Now plays it to Rice, and it's a flag up against Arsenal. Not quite sure what the issue was. There must have been an offside against Eze at the offside flag. Has gone up. Eze produced that absolute moment of magic against Newcastle a week ago. And Martin Odegaard, it's a huge blow for Arsenal to have him and Kai Havertz out with injury at the moment. And this run in, Fulham take the short free kick. Now Leno to Bassi. Bassi being boxed in from Saka. Good press in there from Saka. And he blocked Bassi's ball down the line. It will be a throw for Fulham to take deep inside the half as we're coming up to the 7th minute here at the Emirates. So a throw for Robinson to take deep in his territory. So Robinson throw down the near side to Jimenez. Header one from White. Chukwueze, nice control on the stretch, left footed. Now it's a left back to Robinson. Again Chukwueze, inside left. Rice puts in a brilliant tackle. Now Gyökeres, just over 25 yards and goal. It's on the inside left. Just almost standing on his toes, receiving it was Trossard. Now Trossard looks behind him to Lewis Skelly. And Fulham have everyone back now. Arsenal just a bit too slow there. Try and really be direct and try and exploit some spaces in that Fulham back line. Lewis Skelly calm things down. He had a tug on the back of his shirt there from Harrison Reed. He's got captain's armband on today. And it will be a free kick for Arsenal. Again, it should be Declan Rice flipping this long one in. It's a narrow 1-0 victory for Arsenal in the reverse fixture in October. Now they would snap, I suppose they would snap your hands off for that, just getting the win, but it would be extra sweet. They can win by a massive margin today. Just with that extra bit of pressure on Man City regarding the goal difference. So free kick for Declan Rice to take. Goes short for White. Just over 35 yards out, Arsenal. Inside left with White. Again to Rice. Can he send the ball in? Goes in the centre instead to Lewis Skelly. Lewis Skelly now slowly approaching the penalty area. Goes wide right to Saka. Saka now cuts in, edge of the box. Saka, wrong foot. Jimenez, now Saka across the base of goal, and Gyökeres turns in. Perfect start for Arsenal. Another early Saturday evening goal at the Emirates for Arteta's men. Fantastic play there from Bukayo Saka. He just put his opposite number, Raul Jimenez, on his backside. The perfect delivery. And yes, people can sometimes question Victor Gyökeres. Does he overall fit into this side? But he knows where the back of net is when the ball comes in. He is that goal poach that Arsenal have still needed, despite the flaws he has. Great work for Saka, just wrong fit Jimenez, waltzing into the box. Gyökeres, to me, definitely looked onside. And a simple finish for Gyökeres, just wants it more, got behind of Anderson. Got himself in between Anderson and Castagna to finish home Bukayo Saka's cross. And Arsenal really need to now try and put all the pressure onto Man City and try and get a huge win tonight. In terms of scoreline, they're going about it the right way. And we're back underway now. Robinson goes short, play backwards first time from Lukic. It's a turn from Anderson. Played his right to Castagna. Castagna's ball deflects off a Trossard, trapped on the chest of Calafiori, just ahead of halfway. Calafiori keeps in play after not so much of a great touch. Lewis Skelly, he's had a really good start. Lewis Skelly, 10 minutes gone. Arsenal leading by a goal to nil. Rice tapped it to Lewis Skelly. Now Lewis Skelly, left-footed. Here is Saliba. Getting good pressure for Smith Rowe. Saliba has to opt to go backwards to Raya. It's gone square to Saliba. Now Saliba, right-footed. Picks out Ben White. White now, square for Eze on halfway. Abera Eze, tackle made from Cesar Lukic, and Lukic got the ball in the referee's eyes. So Fulham in the centre circle, Jimenez. Challenge one from Lewis Skelly, but ball rolls loose to Bassi. Now Fulham has to go all the way back to Leno from Anderson. So Leno, long ball towards the right, to Harry Wilson. Header met for Calafiori. Nice control on the chest of Trossard. Trossard about 5 yards in the Fulham half, on halfway. The touch from Lewis Skelly to Calafiori. Arsenal left side defence here with Gabriel. And now Saliba. Ben White, Chukwueze moving across towards him. White to Saka again, being harassed from Robinson. Let's go backwards to White, midway inside the Arsenal half. Now Saliba, cross to Gabriel. Gabriel. Yeah, a light left-footed pass to Lewis Skelly. It's in between the two centre-backs. Rice to Lewis Skelly. Gabriel. That was Lewis Skelly. Arsenal just dictating possession at the moment. Saliba. Slowly approaching halfway, then stops the ball. Again goes to Lewis Skelly. Lewis Skelly getting a lot of touches at the moment, dropping deep in between the two centre-backs. There's a brilliant diagonal there from Gabriel to White. Arsenal just behind the attacking third, given away from White though to Smith Rowe. Good pressure from Rice immediately. Smith Rowe goes down, and Rice just clipped the ankle. Smith Rowe in the referee's eyes. So it will be a free kick for Fulham. A win for Fulham though, and that will put them in a great position in the European hunt. Taken to 51 points, level on points of Brentford, and taken by Brighton into 7th. Plenty of time left here. Some twists and turns the Emirates, and Arsenal will not want a nervy end like last weekend, but so far successful pass in the final third. Arsenal's 19 to Fulham's 2. Can Arsenal come up the tracks well? It's not just the goal, that the intent's really good. Now it's Bassi with a diagonal free kick towards Jimenez. Jimenez rises, can't get any contact though. And Riot just controls left side of his box, then picks it up. Riot rolls it across to Saliba. And then Saliba, right foot on top of the ball. Saliba, it's a nice pass to find Rice. Jimenez tracking down Rice, but Rice now surges over halfway into room. Fulham backing off. Declan Rice through the Fulham midfield. Now Rice picks out Saka, edge of the penalty area. Trying to cut in. That was a good tackle there. The right foot of Anthony Robinson. Good throw for Arsenal. Just over 13 minutes played. Arsenal 1, Fulham 0. Vit-Gyökeres with the early goal. Rice. Here's Saliba. Down the centre circle with Gabriel. Gabriel again. Arsenal just nice to control the ball at the moment. Trossard's in an inside left position. 7-8 yards in the Fulham half. Now it's clipped from Saliba. Finds the chest of White. Midway in Fulham's half. Now in field for Saka. Saka backing into Robinson. And now here's Trossard, 25 yards out inside left. Trossard, low strike, but drags it well wide in the end, but was patiently worked there from the Gunners. Again, Saka set that one up for Trossard. Drilled it low and hard, but miles off target. Again, Arsenal started really well, not just the scoreline, but playing some good football, good intensity about them. And Leandro Trossard, no goals, only 1 assist in his last 13 Premier League appearances. So Fulham in the short goal kick, now bended towards Jimenez. Jimenez just bounces off his left hip in the end. It will be an Arsenal throw for Calafiori to take. And Arteta, that cardigan on, arms folded. You just need to stay as calm as possible. So Calafiori to his right note, that transmits to his team. Calafiori being harassed from Wilson. He's managed to hit off of Harry Wilson and get Arsenal another throw. So far, so good for Arsenal in the opening quarter now. Even by goal to nil. Eze controls Calafiori's throw. Now here's Gabriel. Gabriel acres of space. Square to Saliba. Now Lewis Skelly moved in position in behind of Smith Rowe to receive it. Saliba still has it. Goes for Gabriel in a little bit more room. Now Gabriel clips it over the top down the left. Calafiori can't get the touch he wanted though. I don't even think he got a touch at all. Just got away from the end. It will be a goal kick for Fulham. Fulham can really make an assault for Europe. They can turn this one around, but again, a mentioned ball kick-off that certainly loved drawing a blank away from home this season. Ball clipped onto the chest of Robinson from the goal kick. Now helped on from Jimenez in the centre circle, but no one behind him. And Jimenez did all that work, win the duel with Gabriel. There's no one in behind him there. Here's William Saliba. Saliba, a few touches with his right foot. Then Smith Rowe shadowing him. Now Eze takes control of the ball. Eze just under midway inside the Arsenal half. Now Lewis Skelly, left footed. 5 yards to Gabriel. Gabriel bent over the top to Gyökeres. Down the far side, Gyökeres, the onside. Flags up against him. Was a really good idea there from Gabriel. Gyökeres just couldn't quite time his run well enough. And Gyökeres, I think it was a tight one, that actually. More tight than I thought. He may have just been offside. Gyökeres and Fulham, they just need a bit of a good spell in possession. Try and calm things down. Short free kick to Bassi. Square across the fence to Robinson. Robinson plays that between Rice and Saka. Jimenez slipped on the stretch. Now Jimenez collides with his own player. Robinson, both of them are fine. It's deflected out for an Arsenal throw just by the Fulham technical area. We'll see with the rain coming down, the pitch is going to be even more slippy. So a throw for Ben White to take. Just over the halfway line. So the rain's come down a bit more harder. Hit the Emirates, 17.5 minutes gone, Arsenal 1, Fulham 0. White, throw down the right for Gyökeres. Dispossessed from Bassi by the corner flag. Now Bassi, clear down the near side. Control from Jimenez, but the ball had already gone out of play before it reached Jimenez. It's actually a throw for Arsenal, well in the attacking third, so as soon as Bassi hit that, the linesman already thought that sailed out of bounds. But whistled back in. So throw for White. Takes short to Saka. Saka tried to take it on with his right foot and turn away from Robinson immediately towards the byline, but just didn't get that touch right there for Bukayo Saka. So Fulham just try and settle and create some dangerous moments. At the moment, Arsenal in full control of this one, 1 goal in front. Gyökeres with the goal throw now from Robinson, headed towards the box, and Saka now squared it from Anderson, left it from Robinson, chest off from Smith Rowe, headed from Lukic. Now Rice, tackle there for Chukwueze. The ball goes backwards at Fulham, but has reached Robinson. Not the best of passes, Smith Rowe, but he does get under control. Chukwueze's first time pass blocked from White. It will be a throw for Fulham as the ball was hit off Saka and Anthony Robinson. So Anthony Robinson has had an on-off season with fitness, and that's been his big struggle. Anthony Robinson's injuries. Now Rice intercepts Robinson's throw. Saka goes back to Saliba. Gabriel in the centre circle with Lewis Skelly. Gabriel again. Rice wants it in behind the Smith Rowe. Goes to Lewis Skelly instead. Gabriel. Now Declan Rice inside left. Just over 10 yards behind the halfway line. Rice left footed to Gabriel. And Arsenal just slow with the ball at the moment. No real need to rush. They've got the 1 goal advantage. Here's Gabriel. And right in the middle of the Arsenal half, and now Rice is still on that inside left. It's back to Gabriel, and now Rye drills it. Right footed, can he pick up Gyökeres on the inside of Gyökeres? Back into Anderson, good battle between the pair. Gyökeres now goes down. There was no tug though from Joachim Mansell. The referee looks like he has blown up for a free kick. Anderson showing his fury towards the referee. In great battle between Gyökeres and Anderson. Well, I'll have to say, Gyökeres is leaning backing into Anderson. There didn't look much of a shirt pull. And Gyökeres went down the second time. It was actually more of a little bit more of a shirt pull when the ball was coming towards Gyökeres initially. I don't think the ref actually blew up for that one. I think he gave a free kick for that last battle between the pair. So Declan Rice to deliver from the left-hand side. So raised his left arm. Now Rice whips it towards near post, punch away for Leno. Eze in the D, Eze, shot blocked for Jimenez. Now Jimenez chasing the loose ball down. Can Raya gets it first, Raya slides towards it and gives it to Saka. That was vital there from David Raya. If he's been to that, he would have been in huge trouble on the halfway line. Lewis Skelly in the centre circle. 21 minutes gone, Arsenal 1, Fulham 0. Rice in possession. Trossard on the halfway line. Just strokes it short to Lewis Skelly. Trossard again. And Trossard backwards for Raya. Just a little touch to Saliba. Now Rice. Midway inside Arsenal territory. Into the fence to Saliba. Square to White. Again White. Powerful ball down the right hand side. Nodded away from Anderson. Kept in play from Bassey. Then Bassey just lost his balance. And it's a throw for Ben White to take. Now Lewis Skelly. First time for Eze, whips it back onto the right boot of Declan Rice. Rice in the centre circle. Rolls it wide left to Leandro Trossard. Rice wants it back. Trossard halfway in Fulham's half. Now poke forward to Lewis Skelly. First time for Gyökeres. Intercepted from Bassey. Turn for Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe now to Jimenez. Jimenez in the centre circle goes down. Just good strength though from Gabriel. Saliba right foot pass. Eze turns just by the centre circle. And it will be a free kick to Arsenal and a yellow card for Sasa Lukic as well. There's a definite clip on the ankle there. No doubt from Lukic, and there's a great balance about him. He just drew Sasa Lukic in to making that challenge. So a free kick for Arsenal. Just behind halfway. Lead by a goal to 0. Approaching the 23rd minute. 8 yellow cards for Sasa Lukic this season. So a free kick is left here for Miles Lewis Skelly today. He's had a fine start to this game, making his first ever midfield start for Arsenal. So Lewis Skelly linking up with Saliba. Lewis Skelly. Square for Gabriel. Played a few yards over halfway to Trossard. Trossard moves back to his own half. Arsenal on the back line again. Saliba. Eze almost caught possession, holds off Lukic. Great balance from Barry Eze. And now Lewis Skelly scrambling to keep his footing, but in the end gets a free kick. Lewis Skelly, Jimenez clipped his ankle. Now quick free kick from Arsenal. Inside right with White. White rolls it through for Gyökeres. Tight angle. Right at the penalty area. White now dispossessed only as far as Gyökeres. Here's Rice on the inside right channel. Now Lewis Skelly, just over 35 yards from goal. Ball through middle from White. Flick on there for flick on there into the feet of Saka. And now Rice combines with Saka. White joins in on the inside right. And Rice, edge of the area. Here's Saka, infield to Lewis Skelly. Lewis Skelly, 23 yards from goal. Backwards to Saliba. Who's pushed up high. Rice puts the delivery in, it's headed behind for a corner kick from Joachim Andersen. And Arsenal just starting to gain more territory again. And Fulham haven't tested Bernd Leno, but Arsenal haven't really pinned Fulham back for a few minutes in this match, and Mikel Arteta just want a continuation of Arsenal doing that, but it's easier said than done. So approaching the 25th minute here at the Emirates. Arsenal leading by goals, and they'll win for Arsenal, and they'll be 6 points clear for the time being. Man City play Everton on Monday night. Of course, as it stands, they have 2 games in hand on Arsenal. Of course, that game's per Monday, and then Crystal Palace game at home as well. So it's Saka, corner in for the near side, caught there from Leno. Oh, he's just dropped it. It falls to Saliba. Bit of a tight angle though. Saliba trying to turn and get a shot away, and Reed manages to clear away. Oh, Bernd Leno made a right meal of that. Corner in, Leno dropped it, and Gabriel was standing right on him. Lukic tried to get it away, then it fell towards Saliba. And turn and get a shot off though, and Fulham got it clear for a throw. The Calafiori to take from the far side. So Calafiori, long throw in. Head up into the air for Jimenez. That's nodded on as far as Lewis Skelly. Edge of the box inside left, backwards in the middle for Eze. 30 yards and goal. Now Trossard clips it towards the back post. Leno drops it again. White, shot for Gyökeres. Gyökeres, shot safe for Leno. Saka wide. Oh, what an opportunity to double Arsenal's advantage. Bernd Leno has had a mare in this last minute. Trossard lifted it in. Leno dropped it. White set up for Gyökeres. Leno did make a save for Gyökeres, to be fair. I will credit Leno for that. But then Saka should be hitting the target inside the box after that Gyökeres shot. Bounce to Saka on the swivel. Left-footed. Actually dragged it a fair bit wide as well. It's a huge opportunity. Mikel Arteta, hands over his face, looked up to the heavens. Should be 2-0 Arsenal. Goal given Fulham now. White pokes it forwards. Eze flicked it on. Here's a throw. Fulham to take. A few yards behind the halfway line. Going from Robinson to Chukwueze. Robinson again. Takes over halfway. Gives it straight to Ben White. Dummy from Eze. Gyökeres to Eze. Here come Arsenal. Bury Eze. Now Gyökeres. Not the best of first touches, but still has it on the byline. And now as Gyökeres knocked off for Robinson. I think it will be a corner to Arsenal on the right hand side. Gyökeres looks very disappointed though with that first touch of his. Sent him wider and he wanted it. Will be a corner for Saka to take on the right hand side. So in swinger for Bukayo Saka. Can Arsenal get that second just to ease a bit of the tension at the Emirates? Saka already now slits it towards near post, headed away from Anderson. Now Rice is that to Saka. Here's Rice, 23 yards from goal, inside right, played in behind for Saka on the byline. Saka cuts it back. Eze safe for Leno, bounces out the box from Robinson. Here's White, Trossard. Arsenal back in the penalty area. Trossard clips in, heads towards goal. It's in. 2-0 to Arsenal. Ricardo Calafiori. It's been a really good 28 minutes for Arsenal. They fully deserve this 2-goal lead. Much more attacking than it was when they scored early against Newcastle last Saturday. And that is an excellent header from Ricardo Calafiori. Rice played it in behind for Saka. Saka cut it back. There's a shot. It was actually blocked from Bassi, then bounced off Robinson. White played it short for Trossard. Trossard found a bit of space inside the penalty area to clip it onto the head of Calafiori and directed it to perfection beyond the reach of Bernd Leno into his bottom right-hand corner. So Arsenal have that daylight, although VAR are checking it. Possible offside. Not sure it was offside against Calafiori or someone else in the build-up. There wasn't anything obvious looking at the first replay of it. And VAR checking it currently. And it looks like the goal will not stand. Calafiori was offside. So Arsenal just need to readjust themselves, but in a big warning sign to Fulham. That second goal is coming. So a free kick now for Leno to take. Drilled to Robinson in the last 10 minutes. Arsenal 7 shots to Fulham's none. 15 touches in the opponent's box. 13 the final third, and Fulham have had none for all three of those stats. Not ball for Fulham, headed away, only far Chukwueze. Now dinks it. Wide right to Wilson. And Fulham create something here. Castagna plays off to Chukwueze, so Chukwueze joins in on the right. Now it's gone backwards in the centre circle to Anderson. Cross to Bassi. Bassi pokes it to Anderson. Here's Bassi again. Inside left. Bassi now turns. Here's Anderson at Smith Rowe. Chukwueze, Smith Rowe again. Fulham inside left for Lukic, just over 25 yards from goal. Now it's Anderson. Head of the centre circle, now inside as he links up with Castagna. Bit of a spell now for Fulham to have some possession. Lukic trying to keep away from Eze. Lukic picks out Robinson. Brings it back for Bassi. Square through the centre circle to Castagna. Wilson. Midway inside the Arsenal half. Wilson drags it onto his left foot. Links up with Lukic. First time in the centre circle from Anderson. Now looks the attacking third and finds Smith Rowe. Fulham on the right hand side. It's gone back to Reed for Castagna. Wilson and Reed just having exchanged a few passes. Chukwueze, edge of the box. Chukwueze left with the shot. Well blocked from Rice. Back with Fulham though. Harry Wilson. First time the inside right from Chukwueze. Now Wilson. Again, Chukwueze on the turn. Good tackle there from Lewis Skelly. Arsenal just pinned back for the time being. Anderson. And strokes it short for Castagna. Castagna now finds Wilson. Edge of the box. Harry Wilson. Left-footed. Square now for Robinson. Robinson goes to shot. It's been blocked from Ben White though. And Saka tracks back. Hits it off of the right knee of Anthony Robinson. That will be a goal kick. But that was a good pass through to Harry Wilson there. Fulham just couldn't do anything significant with it. And there's Arsenal walking the ball out from the back with Gabriel. 32.5 minutes of football played at the Emirates. Arsenal leading by goals to 0. They thought they were 2 up. Calafiori ahead of it. Offside given against Calafiori. Right. Square across the box to Saliba. Now Rice. Rice, that's a nice pass to find Eze in the middle of Arsenal's half. Now Gabriel again to Eze in the centre circle. That's first time. Now a bit of room here for Trossard. Inside left. Now looks at Eze. Arsenal coming towards the box. Tidy feet from Eze. Then just lost his balance. The ball bounced off for Trossard. Falls to Smith Rowe in the middle of the Fulham half. Now Bassi crossed to Robinson. First time pass into Leno's 6-yard box. Leno to Bassi. Bassi goes for Robinson. Now Chukwueze inside left. Fulham still deep inside the half. Now first time for Robinson. Down the near side. And Smith Rowe nowhere near getting to that. Rice to Saliba. First time through the gap of Smith Rowe and Jimenez. Now is Miles Lewis Skelly. Left footed pass to Saliba. Now is Rice. One touch to take over halfway. Rice splits that behind him to White. First time for Saka. Rice is looking at his own half. Now Rice, really poor pass there. Straight to Jimenez. Lukic over halfway. Fulham don't have numbers though. Smith Rowe. That's 6-7 yards in the Arsenal half. Now Fulham just calming it down here. Lukic to Anderson. Here's Bassi. Just behind the halfway line. Bassi into the feet of Anderson. Square for Castagna. Castagna looks for Jimenez. Just out-muscled from Gabriel. Gabriel short for Lewis Skelly. Arsenal in the centre circle with Saliba. And first half for Lewis Skelly to Saliba. Gabriel. Arsenal a couple yards shy of the halfway line. Lead by a goal to 0 against Fulham. Just over 10 minutes of this first half remaining. Gyökeres with the early goal. But Arsenal have attacked better than they did against Newcastle last weekend in terms of being more proactive, looking to get that 2-goal cushion. Saliba gives it straight to Lukic. There are a few nervy passes from Arsenal in the last few minutes. Smith Rowe towards left-hand side. Chukwueze was getting away from him. He's kept it in play though. Chukwueze based up Saliba on the wide left. Now in field for Lukic. Sasa Lukic, 25 yards on goal. Looks towards the box, but it's intercepted from Trossard. Now Calafiori. Fiori brings it back into the Arsenal box. Arsenal staying composed. Gabriel whips it clear, left-footed. Now Gyökeres back into Anderson. Just beyond the halfway line. Anderson climbed over and wins the header. Now Fulham have it with Anderson again. On the halfway line, Calvin Bassey in the centre circle. In his half and out, Anderson. Bassey again. Bassey takes over halfway, gets away from Eze. Now space in the middle for Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe moves on to Wilson. Wilson into the box. Wilson tries to get beyond Calafiori. He gets there though. Now it's clear from Raya. Off his own man. Not the best of passes, I have to say. Into David Raya. So corner get for Fulham. Again, Wilson couldn't round Calafiori. Played it back for Raya actually. I have to say, a bit harsh down Calafiori initially. The pass was probably good enough, and Raya's clearance just smacked the back of Gabriel. So Fulham gifted a corner kick for Harry Wilson to take on the far side. 36.5 minutes on the clock here. Getting a bit more nervy around the Emirates. Fulham looking for an equaliser. Corner from Wilson, cleared away from Saliba. Saka now passed it to Saliba. Can he try and steam forwards here towards halfway? Bassey again keeping Saliba in check. Now Arsenal under pressure. White lost his balance. And now Lukic, wide left. Cross in, cleared from Lewis Skelly to Ben White. Again, Ben White excuse the clearance. A couple of nervy moments there for Ben White. And Mikel Arteta just giving some words of encouragement to White. So it is a throw. Anthony Robinson to take the last 5 minutes. Fulham have had a couple of shots compared to Arsenal's none. 18 touches for Fulham in the final third. Arsenal have only had one. Here is Robinson. Arsenal field intercepted from Rice. White clears head of the corner flag on the near side. Couldn't find Gyökeres though. That floated long ball is Anderson. And now Fulham starting to gain territory. Robinson, the attacking third. But again, good interception from Rice. Then Robinson just caught Declan Rice. Pretty good for Arsenal. And Anthony Robinson, good position to try and thread a pass through. But that one was a simple interception for Declan Rice to make. And Ben White leaves the free kick. It will be David Raya to take it. So Raya pass it down, and sure will be looking long to pick the Gyökeres. There was 7 minutes left of this first half. Arsenal 1, Fulham 0. Raya now. Can he find Gyökeres? Head away from Bassey. Look on for Smith Rowe, only as far as Declan Rice, 35 yards and goal. Rice to Calafiori. Will touch at Trossard. Pressure applied from Reed. It's in the centre circle with Gabriel. Trossard again, 40 yards and goal. Inside left, and now touch back in the centre circle for Gabriel. It's now right on the halfway line. Saliba picks out Eze, the reverse pass the inside right. And now Saka level with the penalty area. Almost on the touchline there, Saka. Backwards to Lewis Skelly. Lewis Skelly looks towards the penalty area, volleyed up into the air. And now for Castagna, only as far as Trossard. Trossard driving into the box. Trossard onto his left foot. Trossard shot to tame one though. Easy for Leno to get down to his right. In the space open up from Trossard. Great that chance. Really well there for himself, Trossard. Just the shot was very tame. Easy for Leno to save. Bassey to Chukwueze. Chukwueze gives it straight to White. Again, White slow on the ball here now. That was in the centre circle for Gabriel. Here's Calafiori. And now Saliba. That 4-yard pass to Arsenal's number 4, White. Now Saka lays it back to White. Eze. That's a lovely ball behind. Down the near side channel for Victor Gyökeres. Gyökeres down to Saka. Saka, can he take on the shot? He does! And beats Leno! And it's a goal to go with his assist this evening for Bukayo Saka. It was getting a little bit nervy for Arsenal, with Fulham in search of leveller before the break. But it's Arsenal who have got the next goal, and a very important one, to get that goal difference boosted a bit further, but more importantly, a step closer to another big 3 points in this title run-in. Victor Gyökeres, huge credit to him there as well. Worked his socks off in midweek and scored the penalty against Atletico. And Gyökeres and Saka combine as well for the second time this evening. It was a link up down the left. Eze played that ball behind to Victor Gyökeres. Gyökeres needed a bit of help. Laid off the Saka in between of Anderson and Robinson. And Saka had that space in the penalty area. Did not give Bukayo Saka that space. Low and hard. Beyond the reach of Bernd Leno. Down at his near post. And that is an excellent finish there for Bukayo Saka. Yes, the goalkeeper would be criticised for being beaten at his near post, but it was an excellent finish for Saka. Swept home. And he could just feel that relief around the Emirates. A real fierce fist pump, a bit of jump in the air from Mikel Arteta. Screaming towards the supporters. Yes, he needs to keep a cool head, but of course he wants to show his passion in those moments as well. Feel these moments with the crowd. Arsenal 2, Fulham 0. Here's Bassi. Backwards to Bernd Leno. So as it stands, Arsenal 3 ahead on goal difference, level on goals scored as well with Man City. 66 apiece. Robinson inside to Smith Rowe. Now back to Leno. Square across the face of Anderson. Anderson leads up to Castagna. Castagna looking towards Jimenez, but Gabriel gets in front of Jimenez. Jimenez now just a little nudge into Gabriel, and the referee had a good view of that. It will be a free kick for Arsenal. 3 minutes of this first half remaining. It was a clear push on the back. There's Mikel Arteta just talking with his coaching staff for the moment. Taking a quick swig of water as well. 2.5 minutes this first half to go, and Arsenal, they just need to keep looking to boost that goal difference more and more. So Declan Rice with the free kick, level with the centre circle. Short to Lewis Skelly. Lewis Skelly, square for Rice. And now Trossard. Backwards for Declan Rice. Declan Rice pings it to the far side, to the near side. Saka keeps them playing. That's a brilliant touch from Saka. Saka now plays in between Jimenez and Robinson. Cut back for Calafiori. Cross to Saliba. Almost turned over the back post. But it was just missed in the end. It was the two centre-backs, would you believe it? Combining in the final third. Almost combining in the final third. Switch to Saka was brilliant. Saka played in between Jimenez and Robinson. Cut back from Robinson's opposite number, Calafiori. And then Saliba just clipped the ball in towards the back post. Gabriel, with all his might, slid towards the ball. Just couldn't get the touch he was praying for. Try and make it 3. Header forward some Rice from the goal kick. That was just a flick from Anderson to Leno. Fulham just need half-time immediately. Arsenal right in the ascendancy here. And direct from Anderson. Free header for Gabriel from the centre circle. Heavy touch of Castagna with his chest and lift up to the air from Rice. Comes off the back of Trossard there. Lewis Skelly finds Gyökeres trying to hold it up. Tackle made from Anderson. Jimenez gives it away to Calafiori. Stepped onto that pass really well. Calafiori square for Eze. Eze goes to the shot, trying to bend it to Leno's bottom left. But couldn't find the target in the end of Barry Eze. And has confidence running through his veins. After that goal against Newcastle last week, used Bassi as the decoy. It was a really good idea there from Bereze. Just couldn't quite get enough finesse on it. Let's get it into the bottom corner of Leno's net. Speaking of Leno, takes the goal kick. They're down from Saliba. Touch from Eze to Saka. Saka miscontrolled. And Robinson uses Anderson. Anderson, tempt the line breaking pass, intercepted though for Lewis Skelly. Here come Arsenal now. Eze driving at the back line. Eze, square for Trossard. Trossard into the box. Fulham get more and more men behind the ball. Trossard takes too long. It's taken away from the end from Castagna. Only as far as Gabriel. 3 minutes of stoppage time in this first half. And can Arsenal make it 3-0 in that amount of time? Back in the centre circle here with Saliba. And now Declan Rice. Ben White on the outside, Chukwueze. Saka first time to White. Saka, tidy feet. Arsenal coming towards the final third. Now Saka goes backwards to Rice. Rice has stabbed it to Saliba by the centre circle. Arsenal on the inside right, heavy touch there from White from Rice's pass. Now can Fulham maybe spring an attack? Lukic over the top, nowhere near finding Jimenez, just chested down from Saliba to Rice. Now Rice, Smith Rowe coming towards him, but Rice has that room to square it to Gabriel. Rice just telling Gabriel to stroke it back to Raya. First minute of the first half stoppage time completed. Raya has his right foot on top of the ball, just falling for calm from absolutely everyone in red. So it's long from Raya towards Gyökeres on the inside left, bounced off the hip of Gyökeres. Gyökeres saying he was manhandled from Anderson, nothing given though in Gyökeres' favourites. Now back with Leno. Anderson brings it through the deep. Joachim Anderson, midway into the 3 minutes of first half stoppage time. Arsenal 2, Fulham 0. And Fulham get that deficit half for the break. Here's Bassi. Bassi drags it back to his left foot. Now here's Leno in the deep. Touch to Castagna. Can he find Smith Rowe? Smith Rowe got contact on it. Couldn't poke it to Harry Wilson in the end. Arsenal throw just in front of the halfway line. Fiore to Gabriel. Picks up Rice in the centre circle. Rice now. Here's White, a couple of yards behind the halfway line. Way back to Saliba. Now Lewis Skelly. He's been really good getting to those deep positions. Looking at home that midfield. Well, it is his natural position, so he should. Gabriel now on halfway. It's a lovely ball. Playing behind for Calafiori. Actually just a bit too far to Calafiori in the end. It was as soon as that left the right boot of Trossard from the halfway line. Calafiori is absolutely going to get onto that. Couldn't quite do that in the end. Bassi. Now to Anderson. Touch for Reed. 20 seconds of this first half remaining. Bassi's over halfway. We just hit that off for Lukic there. Now Ben White. Saka. Just facing Ben White and uses him. Now Declan Rice inside right. Away in the Arsenal half now. Saka holds off Robinson. Saka is giving it away yet? No. In the end, Gabriel just gets there for Wilson. Now all of a sudden, the space opens up on Fulham's right side. Here comes Trossard. Few step overs. Trossard into the box. Trossard. Cross for Gyökeres. Gyökeres header. It's in. It's 3-0 to Arsenal. And a second of the day for Victor Gyökeres. And Arsenal played a risky pass in their half. But then when Gabriel played it forwards, after Saka almost gave it away, that space opened up. And he just knew something was brewing. When Gabriel got it for Harry Wilson, acres of space on Fulham's right side, and Arsenal didn't half exploit it. Trossard, perfect ball in. Now was Gyökeres on it? It's going to be tight. It was an excellent header for Gyökeres. And actually that cross might have just been a little bit in behind him. Had to quickly adjust his body, leaning back, but the placement on the header, just wrong-footed Bernd Leno. Went into Leno's right, so actually more to centre than I thought initially for Gyökeres' header. Arteta turns away in passion. This is exactly what Arsenal needed. And Victor Gyökeres, with his trademark celebration, putting his fingers together, mimicking the Batman villain Bane. And to me, Gyökeres did look on. Don't think VAR will look at it. So Arsenal now 4 ahead on goal difference as it stands. One ball towards Jimenez. Jimenez tries to go for a shot, but quickly taken away from Gabriel. Trossard holds on to it. It's half-time here at the Emirates. And it's exactly what Arsenal needed after the tension of last week. Victor Gyökeres with a double. The opener scoring. Saka low cross in. Gyökeres turned it home. Calafiori had a goal ruled out. Header which was offside. But Arsenal did get that second. Gyökeres peeled up wide, got on Eze's channel ball down the right. Gyökeres played it in between 2 Fulham players, and Saka drilled it low in the area to beat Leno at his near post. And for the first time in this match, Saka and Gyökeres didn't combine for a goal. It was Trossard who got the second for Gyökeres, putting the ball into him. A little bit behind Gyökeres to cross, but just his body brilliantly from the clip cross from Trossard. And Gyökeres leaning back, but the placement on the header, wrong-footed Bernd Leno, and Leno could just watch helplessly with the ball going into his right-hand corner. So at the break, it is Arsenal 3, Fulham 0. Hello and welcome back to the Emirates. Arsenal just dispersed from their pre-second half huddle, also bringing on Noni Madueke. What a first half that was for the Gunners. 3 up coming into the second half. A brace from Victor Gyökeres. Bukayo Saka getting on the act as well. Gyökeres and Saka combining for 2 of those 3 goals. And Eze gets us back underway for the second half. So a long ball from right. Looks like Saka has made way. I think it probably be as a caution, Mikel Arteta, with the scoreline being the way it is. And Fulham clear through Castagna. Lewis Skelly square to Calafiori. And now Lewis Skelly just ahead of halfway. Lewis Skelly had an excellent first half in midfield. It's a square from Saliba to Gabriel. Gabriel back into the feet of Raya. Now Raya along towards the left-hand side. Now Gyökeres back into Anson. It was a great battle between them in the first half. Anson gets control of the ball. Here's Reed. And now Anderson. Anson looks down the right, just goes straight out of bounds though. It will be a throw for Calafiori to take just in front of his manager, Mikel Arteta. Now Lewis Skelly. Pass back into the Arsenal half to Gabriel. And on the ball is Saliba. White. Saliba again. Saliba. Into his right foot, still Saliba. Bring it towards halfway. Good tackle made there from Jimenez. Now chance maybe Fulham to attack. Square for Smith Rowe to Reed. Reed just over 25 yards out. Wilson inside right. Arsenal quickly getting men back. Fulham still in possession in the attacking third on the near side. Castagna behind him to Wilson. Infield now. Here's Lukic in central midfield. Now Bassi. About 35 yards from goal. Uses Lukic. Close to the centre circle. Here's Bassi again. And Bassi just taking a couple of slow steps with the ball at the moment. Links up with Smith Rowe. Bassi again. Light touch to Smith Rowe. Fulham just in front halfway midfield with Lukic. Lukic now surrenders it to Madueke. Madueke dispossessed from Bassi. So Fulham back on the ball in the centre circle with Reed plays it right through the middle of Arsenal. Jimenez goes for a shot. Oh, that was almost a cracker for Raul Jimenez. Inside right, just over 25 yards and goal. He didn't half let fly. Right footed. I thought for a split second that was going into David Araya's top left hand corner. A bit more further away than I thought, but still not a bad attempt there for Jimenez. Goes long to Gyökeres. Gyökeres can't quite take it under his spell. Now Gyökeres tries to win it back on the byline and on the touchline. Looks like he's conceded a throw in there. I think that came off Gyökeres last. And it has indeed. It's a throw for Castagna to take control with the midriff for Wilson. Now Fulham just over halfway with Robinson. Now it's wide left with Chukwueze. Robinson making a run behind. Chukwueze looks towards Wilson. Infield's blocked from Madueke. And Fulham on the inside left for Smith Rowe. Down that side for Robinson. Turns it to Smith Rowe. Fulham just under 30 yards and goal. Now is Bassi. And taking a few slow steps forwards with the ball. Chukwueze back to Bassi. Fulham now wide left with Robinson. Robinson gets the low cross and all to slice clearance of Saliba over the Arsenal bar. So corner for Fulham. There was Robinson with a testing ball in. Completely sliced backwards there from William Saliba. And it will be corner kick for Fulham to take on the left-hand side. Harrison Reed to deliver towards the near post. So Harrison Reed, corner comes in, flipped across the base of goal, just wide for Castagna. Fulham saying it took a deflection on the way through. They have got another corner, Fulham. But Castagna got the first contact at the near post on the flick. It took a nick on the way through. Can't quite see who it came off. I think it was off the back of Gabriel. Rye was scampering across the Pacers goal trying to get to that. Corner comes in. Header met for Jimenez, and Rye catches it. And when he calls it, actually already gone out of play anyway. So it's a goal kick for Arsenal. Taken quickly from Rye. Not bad. First 4.5 minutes. to start the second half from Fulham. Going through now Lewis Skelly. Goes the pass back in defence. Arsenal just inside their box at Rice. Square to Saliba. William Saliba can come up towards halfway now. Looks to play it behind. Can't quite find the run of Ben White though. Surprising run from Ben White as a striker there. Now Fulham coming over halfway with Smith Rowe. Knocks it on to Chukwueze. Chukwueze now backwards here for Lukic. Now Bassi, 35 yards from goal. Is Lukic on the ball again? So Fulham on the left side with Chukwueze. Chukwueze, that's a really poor cross. Easily controlled from Rice. Now Rice plays it down the far side. Madueke in a foot race for his option number Lukic. He gets there. Unsurprisingly, Madueke cuts in, edge of the box. Madueke looks at Eze. Cleared on his fast. Madueke again. That's a good tackle there from Bassi. Standing tackle on the box and Eze. And it's Fulham now on the ball with Robinson. And Madueke trying to box him in, but has Smith Rowe support. And it's back with Robinson. Now clearance and Fulham blocked and loose up in the air. Now Lukic has his clearance blocked as well. Fulham do manage to clear it away through Lukic again. And there is Arsenal back in their half with Rice. And now Gabriel. Gabriel coming towards halfway. Trossard. Gabriel again. What Lewis Skelly wants in the sense, so Gabriel looks out to the right hand side. Well control from Madueke. Madueke drifting. Madueke lifts the ball to the box, headed away from Anderson. And as far as Madueke, but Fulham back on the ball. It's a tackle there. Madueke from Robinson. Robinson looks towards that central run from Wilson, chested down to Lewis Skelly from Gabriel. Lewis Skelly challenge from Smith Rowe. Loose ball goes into the path of Trossard. Now Rice. A light pass just over halfway to Madueke. Madueke coming forward slowly. 52 minutes played at the Emirates. Arsenal 3, Fulham 0. Again, every goal is precious for Arsenal in this goal difference battle that currently stands. So Arsenal 6 points ahead. Obviously Man City have those 2 games in hand. Monday Everton and then Crystal Palace as well. Trossard. Facing up Castagna. Battle the Belgians. Trossard goes backwards to Gabriel. Gabriel again just gets it back to Trossard. Trossard drifting in, 25 yards from goal. Trossard to Eze. Eze, look, pirouette, moving backwards here. Eze now his body shaped forwards again. Arsenal wide right. Madueke plays it behind for White. White clips it in, but calm head away from Anderson. Now Robinson to Jimenez. Jimenez looks forwards. It's blocked though from Rice. And there will be a free kick actually for Fulham. I think just a little bit of a late challenge from Declan Rice. Arteta goes away in frustration, then just has a little smile on his face as well. So free kick for Bassi. Pass short to Smith Rowe. Bassi again. Bassi now once more to Smith Rowe. Almost standing on his toes receiving that. Still in the Fulham midfield and in the centre circle now with Lukic. Brings it into the Arsenal half. Lukic to Castagna. Sasa Lukic once again on the ball. Anderson. And now Bassi. Fulham being pressed back here. Gyökeres Madueke leading that chance for Arsenal. Leno in the D. Leno now looking towards the right side. Just chested down though to Saliba. And there is Declan Rice on the halfway line. On the far side. Goes behind him to Saliba. And there's Gabriel, plenty of space. And now Lewis Skelly. Arsenal with Gabriel. Just calm on the ball at the moment. Saliba lays that off to Ben White. Here's Lewis Skelly. Read all over the back of him. Again, Gabriel is there for support behind in the middle. And now Saliba. Here's Ben White. They tap the Rice and field to Lewis Skelly. And Arsenal very comfortable in possession moment. Now Lewis Skelly gives it to Eze. Tidy feet from Barry Eze. In the second half, Fulham 3 shots to Arsenal, none. There's a heavy pass there towards Declan Rice, then just catches Calvin Bassey. And Arsenal, obviously the 3-0 lead, naturally that intensity will drop off a bit, but as I mentioned a moment ago, the goal difference is going to be very important. So the more the merrier, at least for Arsenal. So Fulham now walking it with Bassey towards the halfway line after a short free kick. Brilliant ball from Bassey, looking for Wilson, headed down for Calafiori. Control from Trossard, lifts it over Wilson, said that was excellent skill there for Leandro Trossard. It's in the Arsenal box with Gabriel. And now David Raya goes square to Saliba. Ben White. And now Declan Rice whips it down the far side. Gyökeres gets there for Bassey. Gyökeres now holding off Bassey and supported White. First time to Madueke. Inside to Calafiori. Calafiori turns. He's tackled from Robinson. And now Fulham, can they do something here? What? Wilson's going backwards here. Now Wilson's tackled from Trossard. And now Trossard can surge through the centre. Trossard plays it through. Gyökeres on a hat-trick. It's safe for Leno though. And cleared away from Anderson. And he's fast Calafiori. Barry Eze, 30 yards and goal. Right in the centre. Rice first time. Cross midfield to Lewis Skelly. Tap to Gabriel, who's pushed up high on the inside left. Trossard to Gabriel. Again, Trossard, another first time pass to Gabriel. Trossard. Now Wright. It's in the gap of Reed. And Smith Rowe to Saliba. That's play for the send circle. White to Lewis Skelly. This is great play midfield from Arsenal. Here come Arsenal with Rice. Rice now looks at Trossard, headed away from Castagna. And as far as Calafiori. And now Trossard cuts inside of Castagna. Leandro Trossard. Few step overs. First half for Lewis Skelly to Gabriel. Declan Rice. That's square to White. White wants it back, but still Madueke on the ball. Goes behind him to White. Now Rice. 30 yards and goal on the inside right. Lewis Skelly right in the centre. Arsenal now on the left-hand side. Calafiori. It's Trossard on the ball, trying to hold off 2 Fulham players and Wilson and Castagna. And with Gabriel. And Saliba in the centre circle. Light pass to White. And Arsenal just keeping the ball for fun here. So just over 57 minutes played. 3 goals to Calafiori. And Wilson just behind him. Calafiori just quickly knocked that back for White. Clear first time from Raya. It's helped on for Gyökeres towards the right hand side. Madueke gets to it. Now back into Robinson. Madueke turns. Madueke gets away from Robinson, goes down. The referee initially wanted to wait play on then. And when Madueke couldn't get up in time, it is a free kick for Arsenal. That was a great turn there from Noni Madueke. Back into Robinson. There's a clear shirt pull there from Anthony Robinson, which meant Madueke went down to the ground. The referee initially wanted to wait play on. So it is a free kick inside right for Arsenal. And a new conversations going on as to who will take it. So it's a free kick to be taken over from Declan Rice. Inside right, but 25 yards from goal. So Declan Rice already now. Can Arsenal add a 4th hit? Declan Rice, left arm raised. So already Declan Rice wraps his right foot around the ball towards the back post, flicked away from Bassey. Wide left, Gyökeres has it. And now Calafiori just inside the box. Calafiori's pass deflects on the head of Lewis Skelly. Trossard goes to the shot, but no power on it though. Sort of an air shot from Trossard. So lift up into the air. It's a simple catcher practice there for Leno. Leno releases a brilliant ball towards the right side to Jimenez. Jimenez needs help. Jimenez now to Wilson. Jimenez stroke first time. Here's Reed. Now Fulham on the ball with Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe in behind for Robinson. Robinson low cross in, but cuts out at the near post from Saliba. And now Rice looking for Trossard. Trossard heads it backwards, running onto it. Can he keep it in play? Trossard midway inside his half does that. just calmly plays back to Gabriel. It's in the 6-yard box with David Raya. And the right foot on top of the ball. Still Raya. Short square pass to Saliba. It's Raya again. Lewis Skelly asking for it. Raya now just stops the ball, has a couple more touches and then floats it towards Gyökeres. Hour gone at the Emirates. Arsenal 3, Fulham 0. So Smith Rowe back to Robinson. Now Bernd Leno. Leno left-footed on the stretch. Castagno plenty of time to control that. Did get that control right. Now Bassi. And Fulham slowly coming towards the centre circle with Joachim Andersen. Square to Reed. Once more Harrison Reed is on the ball. Castagno. Here's Harrison Reed. It's gone square to Andersen. Andersen the halfway. Bassi. Bassi against a light layoff. Left hand side to Robinson. And Fulham just maybe a snail's pace to the ball at the moment. And try and find that goal back. 3-0 to the Arsenal at the moment. Now Wilson bends it towards the box. Chukwueze facing away from goal. Controls it. Wilson has it again. Wide right. Level with the penalty area. Now Chukwueze inside right. 23 yards and goal. Gets the cross in. Volleyed out the box though from Gabriel. Now it's with Andersen. A couple yards in front of the halfway line. Bassi. Just up a little bit further there than Andersen. Now to Castagno. Chukwueze. It's Harrison Reed on Fulham's right hand side. Just has to go all the way back to Leno. Just in front of the D. So Fulham halfway to Smith Rowe. Now here is Calvin Bassi. A little touch and halfway from Andersen to Smith Rowe. Now they're slowly playing through the middle here. Fulham with Smith Rowe. Nunes combines. Inside to Smith Rowe now from Robinson. Smith Rowe holds on to it. It is Robinson. Smith Rowe pass a couple yards behind him to Chukwueze. Now Smith Rowe left side of the box. Smith Rowe is cross blocked and now Calafiori heads away. Gyökeres picks it up, but heavy touch from Gyökeres. That just means Andersen can slide towards the ball and clear it forwards, and it'll be a throw for Arsenal. Deep in the half, Fulham preparing a triple sub here. Tom Cairney will come on and put that captain's armband on. So Harrison Reed, who's been wearing the armbands here. Reed is a first man to come off for Fulham. Chukwueze hasn't really had an impact on this game. And Harry Wilson off as well. Straight and even for Harry Wilson. So is Oscar Bob, Josh King and Tom Cairney all on the pitch for Wilson, Chukwueze and Reed. Still over 63 minutes gone. Arsenal 3, Fulham 0. Harry Wilson, not sure Harry Wilson's talked to Fulham member staff, just showing a frustration about coming off, which obviously understandable. So Gyökeres, he won't have a chance to get the hat-trick. Mikel Arteta doesn't want to take any chance ahead of the big second leg at the Emirates on Tuesday night. Same with Declan Rice as well. So Gabriel Jesus and Martin Zubimendi are the two to come on here for Arsenal. So now all those stops are done. We get back underway. It's an Arsenal throw deep in their half. White takes, volleyed from Zubimendi. Trapped on the chest of Lukic. That is gets his body across. Lukic fighting to keep it. Now Zubimendi has it. Zubimendi towards the centre circle. But intercepted from Andersen. Now it's Fulham on the ball with Castagno. Square to Bassi. Light touch to Cairney. His first pass is to pick out Robinson just behind halfway. Now Bassi into Cairney. Cairney turns onto his left foot. Goes square to Anderson. Now Castagna. That's first time from Lukic. Calafiori gets to it. Goes back into the feet of Wright. Wright taking a bit too long the ball, but just got the pathway now. Saliba let it run across him, wrong-footed. Smith Rowe and Saliba got himself out of trouble well there. And now Arsenal just over halfway with White. And Madueke 4 or 5 yards behind him to Zubimendi. Calm turn in the centre circle from Lewis Skelly, and Lewis Skelly brought down for Lukic. Lewis Skelly just taking the ball like a veteran there. Turns away with it. Lukic definitely had a tug at the shirt. So a free kick for Arsenal. 25 minutes to go. Arsenal 3 up. On the way to another massive 3 points, but can they add to that tally? Just a bit more daylight team than Man City in terms of goal difference. Gap is 4 at the moment. Lewis Skelly out to the right, headed on for Madueke. White back to Madueke, and the flag is up against Ben White. He was definitely off. Quick free kick from Fulham. They're just behind halfway. Now it's Kenny. Left footed from Bassi. Cross the back to Anderson. Joachim Andersen. Across it to Castagna. Anderson again. Now Bassi leaves it for Leno. Almost a mix up there. Leno just got that one clear towards left hand side. Heavy touch then up to the air from Robinson. Now cheaply lost from Arsenal. It's through to Gabriel Jesus, and it's too long there from Jesus on the ball, but it's an offside flag anyway. He had it nicked away from him from Anderson. That would have been a corner kick. And Fulham caught in possession with Kearney, and the through ball for Madueke. The run for Jesus too early. Madueke couldn't have done any more. Fell to me, quickly put it through, but Jesus just needed to hold his run better there. So free kick taken short from Bassi. Bernd Leno looking towards the left-hand side, headed down from Saliba. It's bounced to White. Filled to Eze. Eze again from Ben White. Here's Martin Zubimendi. One of his first touches. Square to Saliba. It's first time for Lewis Skelly. White let run across him, does play it down the far side, but there's no one making that movement ahead of him. So Fulham on the ball here with Kenny. Back into the Fulham area now to Bassi. Bassi just walking the ball from the back. Calvin Bassi, couple of touches with his left foot. Kenny now surrounded by Zubimendi and Madueke. Kenny's pass to the deflection. Fulham throw on left hand side. Robinson towards King. That's deflected off of Saliba last. So it will be a throw for Fulham. Just over midway in the Arsenal half. In fact, actually, it's gone in the favour of Arsenal. So it must have come off King last. So Ben White, just in front of the Fulham fans, slowly comes across to pick up the ball. And White looks to his left, and Zubimendi volleys it forwards now from Jesus. It's deflected off of King. Here is Arsenal the ball, Calafiori. That's a lovely little flick there to Trossard. Arsenal on left hand side, flag goes up against Arteta's men though. And Arteta just wants his side to be a little bit less lazy their runs. That's another time they've been caught offside. Castagna takes the free kick short for Fulham. Anderson back for Leno. Here's Leno again. Floats it towards the left. And on from Robinson. Now comes off the head of Saliba to White. White hooks it down the far side. A little bit too much on it though for Madueke. So it's a throw for Fulham. Coming up to the 69th minute here. And Arsenal just in cruise control here. Throw now to Anderson, under a bit of pressure. Anderson though plays it in between the Lewis Skelly and Trossard to Smith Rowe. And now King. He has an overlap and run here of Castagna. King, edge of the box. And now King turns, needing options here, King. Just has to go backwards to Kenny. Inside to Smith Rowe. Kenny again. Kenny turns onto his left foot. Now Fulham inside right. Here with Anderson. Smith Rowe, 30 yards and goal. Looks to D. Heavy touch from King. Now King has it back. King's brought down edge of the box from Madueke. Well, the referee has awarded a free kick to Fulham. On the inside left, right on the edge of the penalty area. A bit of a clumsy challenge there from Madueke. I'd certainly call that one a forward challenge there. Madueke's bundling King down to the ground. So this would have been great range Harry Wilson, but he's not on the pitch anymore. And Marcus Silva decided to bring him off in a triple substitution. 20 minutes left there at the Emirates. Arsenal 3, Fulham 0 again. Tom Kearney certainly got good technique, but Raul Jimenez standing behind it. I think Jimenez might be the one to take this on. So can Fulham just pull one back. And looks definitely set to be Jimenez here. So Jimenez with his strength to the wall. Now Kearney goes to strike and it's wide the target. Did take a deflection on the way through. So it is a corner kick to Fulham on the left hand side. And Lewis Skelly still sitting down. I think a couple of Fulham players want Lewis Skelly to get up now. He's been sitting down for a few seconds. Yeah, Jimenez free kick straight into the wall, and then Kearney strike. Took a deflection off of Gabriel, who was facing away from the ball. So corner for Sasa Lukic to take on the left-hand side. Alan Bassi has his right arm raised. So referee just make sure there's no push and shoving in the area. And now Lukic can take the corner kick in front of the Fulham supporters. Lukic now all set. Sasa Lukic, it's an in-swing coming in towards their post. Header met there from Lewis Skelly. Hooked back into the box and Jimenez. Another header away, this time for Calafiori. Again, Nolan's the air from Kearney. Bounce off Bassi, shot for Castagna. And Raya says it was straight at him, but a lot of power there for Castagna. Raya didn't keep hold of it the first attempt. There was no one following in though. Off the chest of Bassi and Castagna snapshot straight at Raya, but quickly got across towards it. And it just spilt out of his hands. So Arsenal defence midfield. Lewis Skelly to Rice. Lewis Skelly again. Jimenez trying to nick it off. Jimenez puts a tackle on Saliba and succeeds. King now just on the midway inside the Arsenal half. Mendy makes a tackle. And the referee points to his right. So will be I think it's going to get given as just a throw to Fulham. So Rodrigo Muniz to come on for the Whites. Raul Jimenez off. Been a tough evening for Raul Jimenez. Certainly cut a lonely figure up top. So throw here for Fulham to take, but Jimenez still getting a round of applause, just walking across the face of the Fulham fans. Throw now taken for the Kostas, and it's Kenny to Bassi. Bassi's walking with it in the centre circle. Kenny, left-footed. And now Anderson looks over top towards runner King, and behind in the box. Too high though for the Fulham youngster. And Saliba lets that trickle out for a goal kick to his side. He has a good idea though. Luther King, Ryan said just a conversation with Arteta at the moment. Let's go behind set. Well known in his playing days of playing for Manchester United in the Premier League. And Arsenal fans, good voice around the Emirates, and a lot less nervy than it was this time last Saturday. Headed away from Anderson. The goal kick now came back into Saliba, but Saliba's always going to win that battle. Now Saliba to White. It's laid back to Raya on the line of his area. Raya now searching for Jesus. Will it bounce to Jesus? Leno contra it. Just bounce in favour of Leno to take care of it. So Leno rolls it to Anderson. Anderson turns back to give it to his goalkeeper. And there is Leno just in front of the D, right foot on top of the ball. Now is Bassi. Again, Fulham just been boxed in here. Robinson cuts in and does manage to play it short to Lukic. Now Fulham back in their own box. Square from Leno. Arsenal pushing up there, not with too much aggression. Don't use up loads of energy. Ahead of Tuesday night, Castagna goes long to Jimenez. To Muniz, I should say. Muniz had to push in the back, and will be a free kick for Fulham to take just inside their half. It's making short, and now it's in the centre circle with Lukic. Bassi, first time left-footed, now helped on to Kenny. Fulham coming down the right-hand side here, the left-hand side here. Now it's Kenny trying to buy with King, and Kenny's return pass deflected off of Zubimendi. And a very simple one for David Raya to pick up. Quarter an hour left here at the Emirates. Arsenal 3 goals to good. Extend that goal difference to 4 to Man City, but most importantly, the points-wise, they'll be 6 ahead. Man City's clash at Everton on Monday. This Man City's chance to reply now. Kenny poked over halfway to Bassi. Bassi needs second, third. Count Bassi slides it through for Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe to the side netting. There's a tight angle there from Smith Rowe. Hit it quickly, and Smith Rowe's down hurt here. Didn't know whether he was caught and then taking on that shot on the follow through. Yeah, some concern here for Smith Rowe. In the pain, and there's a ball down the inside left. Bassi in behind for Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe just seemed to pull up after taking that shot, and he's sitting up now, Smith Rowe, but certainly looking in discomfort here, Smith Rowe. Hopefully he'll be fine to carry on. Max Dowman. Again, Smith Rowe was once upon a time in that sort of position Max Dowman's in. Not as young though. Max Dowman out to come on here. Again, think back to that Everton game Saturday evening at the Emirates. That was a real pressure situation. This one more relaxed for Dowman to really express himself, albeit Dowman certainly showing the Everton game that when it is tight, he can take on the mantle. Barry Eze, finer evens work for him. He's done really well. He's certainly getting into the groove now in Arsenal shirt, and displaying his talents more and more. Eze, so it's a standing ovation from the Arsenal supporters. And now Max Dowman can come on. Smith Rowe still being looked at. Yeah, hopefully he will be fine to carry on. Emil Smith Rowe. So Max Dowman now on the field, and Emil Smith Rowe hobbling off here, so it looks like a sorry end to Smith Rowe's evening. So Smith Rowe, he's made way, and looks like it will be Jonah Asare. It is indeed Jonah Kusi Asare on for Fulham. Now Raya, goal kick towards the right, bit too high though for Noni Madueke. So a throw for the Cochers to take. About 5-6 yards behind the halfway line, but lovely applause as well from Smith Rowe from the Arsenal fans. Real nice touch from the Arsenal supporters. All his classmen won their own. Fulham go long towards halfway. Header met from White. Speaking of one of Arsenal's own, Lewis Skelly on the ball. Now picked out Dowman. Inside right, another one of Arsenal's own. Square now to Madueke. Dowman wants it back. Dowman turns inside right, edge of the box. Max Dowman. Oh, lovely turn, balance from Dowman, then tackle from Kenny. Kenny is past block from Zubimendi. So Arsenal back on the front foot, and they add a fourth. Madueke. Madueke clips it in, headed away there from Anderson. And there'll be a corner kick on the right-hand side for Arsenal. Madueke had the beat of his man. Anderson perfectly placed to knock the cross out for a corner kick. Be taken on the right-hand side by Miles Lewis Skelly. Jesus and Saliba in conversation here about something. So Trossard, Calafiori, Dauman, and Azumendi all standing at the back post. So corner now. Vicente now will make their central runs into the 6-yard box, and Madueke corner in, header for Calafiori off the frame of the goal. Just isn't going to happen for Calafiori tonight. He's had one ruled out and one off the bar there. Arsenal in the centre circle with Lewis Skelly. Lewis Skelly now goes down. Now Trossard collects it. No free kick given. And now Trossard was fouled from Kusiasare. Calafiori so close a moment ago. Corner towards near post. Calafiori rose above Leno. Actually, Calafiori's header through the deflection off Leno's head. That might have been what put the ball onto the crossbar. So a vital save for Leno. I say vital save, obviously. Maybe in terms of goal difference at the end of the season, obviously this game is well and truly gone from Fulham. So short free kick from Lewis Skelly to Trossard. Trossard's pass to Telegraph. Now Fulham can come with it. Lukic now. His pass can pick up Kenny. Here's Bassi. Now Robinson just behind halfway. Kusiasare just goes behind him to Robinson and Phil to Kenny. Intercepted from Dauman. Now Max Dauman. Tackle comes in for Robinson. And that will be a throw for Arsenal. Just ahead of halfway on the right hand side. So Dauman, his boot just come off there. His left boot just popping it back on. And stylish light blue boots with sort of yellow-green looking stripes on them. So throw for Ben White now to take. Just ahead of the halfway line. White has Lewis Skelly an option. White goes to the throw back to Saliba. Now just in front of the D is Raya. Raya, can he pick out the head of Trossard? It's come off the back of Castagne's head. And that will be a throw for Arsenal. The attacking third on the left-hand side. And Christian Mosquera, the latest player to come on for the Gunners, as Gabriel just having a quick instruction from Gabriel Heinze. So Ben White making way here. Solid eating for Ben White. Had a couple of shaky moments in the first half, but overall, steady 7 out of 10 performance for Ben White. You expect nonetheless from him. So Mosquera has had a really good season as well. Arsenal. Now it's Calafiori to take the throw here in the attacking third. And Calafiori just seeing what's down the line here. Goes the option of Jesus. Controls it. He's back into Anderson. 7 minutes to go at the Emirates. Arsenal 3, Fulham 0. It's another throw for Arsenal. Jesus just knocking that off of Joachim Anderson. So Calafiori quickly in the ball. Trossard asking for it. Trossard light touch to Calafiori. Calafiori, 2 men around him. Still keeps in play now. Muniz hits off for Calafiori. Breaks here for Castagna. It's in the middle of the Fulham box with Bassi. Bring it forwards. Bassi clip there for Noni Madueke. Now Bassi quickly back on his feet. Referee waves play on. Bassi holds off Madueke. Here's Robinson. So Fulham on the ball with Lukic. Now Lukic into the centre circle, left footed to Anderson. Anderson over halfway. King wide right. King now. It's a turn from King. Does really well there. King and then runs into trouble. It's been cleared away in the end. And now back here with Anderson. It is Fulham on the ball here with Anderson. Long ball blocked from Jesus. Christian headed down now in the centre circle. It's a real nice turn there from Dauman. Dauman driving forward. Here comes Max Dauman. Dauman, still Dauman, great feet. Dauman tries to caress it into the bottom corner. Wide of the target though, but Max Dauman, the ball just sticks to him. Turn away from Lukic like he wasn't even there. And off went Dauman. Kusiasare was keeping up with him, but Dauman still held him off. Dauman, tricky feet to keep it away from Anderson and Kusiasare. Tried to finesse it into Leno's bottom left, couldn't quite find it, but yeah, Max Dalman shown once more what he's all about. Head away from Saliba from the goal kick. The knees pleading his case that he was fouled, and Saliba come through the back of him, nothing given though. He felt Saliba won the header a bit too aggressively. That's actually a throw for Arsenal as well, just behind halfway. Probably more so why he's appealing for a free kick. Calafiori's throw reaches the right foot of Saliba. 5 minutes left. All time in this match. Arsenal 3, Fulham 0. Arsenal going 6 points clear and 4 head on goal difference in Man City as it stands. Trossard backwards to Gabriel. On field, it's whipped first time for Lewis Skelly. Clicked on lightly from Dalman, then missed control for Castañas. Arsenal have it back with Trossard. Dicked in the centre circle to Dalman. Dalman, that pass, can it reach Madueke? Robinson just beats into the punch. Now here's Bassi in the bit of room. Bassi screwing at his teammates, asking for someone to come towards him. Bassi dinks it across the back line to Castaña. King asking for it. Castaña goes backwards. Controlled it from Anderson. Bassi first time, Lukic. Nice take on the turn. Gone square for Robinson. Robinson is over halfway. Robinson into the attacking third. That's the outside option of Kusiasare. Kusiasare now. Madueke all over his back. And has to go behind him on the left-hand side to Lukic. Now Lukic towards the box. His pass couldn't find the run of Oscar Bob in the end. Bob has struggled to get involved in this game since coming on as well as all the other Fulham substitutes. It's been a walk in the park for Arsenal. Probably if they're being picky, would have wanted maybe another goal or two just to beef up that goal difference further. But the points are the most important thing at the moment. And then the goal difference is that bonus. And Arsenal will be open for a favour from Everton on Monday night against Man City. But Lewis Skelly's been excellent midfield by way today. That was a great decision for Mikel Arteta to bring him in for his first ever midfield start for Arsenal. So it's a goal kick from Riot. Can he find Jesus? Can't jump up in between Bassi and Anderson. Bit of a mismatch in terms of physicality there for Jesus. Made his way back to Leno from that direct ball for the middle. Bassi combines a Lukic. First time the left foot of Bassi to Robinson. Now Fulham here with Kenny. So it's laid back off to Kenny from Bassi. Now Kenny drills it over the top on the far side. In the end that goes straight out of play. Bob was on the chase, but Saliba was always getting there first. So goal kick for David Ryan to take with 2 minutes of normal time left at the Emirates. In earlier scores in the Premier League, Brentford 3, West Ham 0. Big result at the bottom, of course. Oh, Arsenal would love Tottenham to go down there at Villa tomorrow. Newcastle 3, Brighton 1. Big win. Eddie Howe just to ease a bit of pressure on him. And that did give the chance for Fulham to go above Brighton this evening, but they're missing the opportunity to do that. And Wolves 1, Sunderland 1. Goal kick goes straight out play. Sunderland got faint over to Europe. Obviously Wolves already down. Obviously Wolves took 2 vital points away from Arsenal in February. They're now from Robinson. Back first time from Jimenez to Castaña. Now here is Fulham on the ball with Bob. Infield, King turns. Nice turn away from King. It's away from Jesus. He now backwards with Bassi just in front of the centre circle. And that's a turn in the middle from King again. King hits outside the right to Robinson. Robinson into the feet of King. King goes down inside the area. And the referee weighs the way. Hardly any contact on King from Saliba. I think King was just trying to buy that one. Robinson threaded it through to King, left side of the penalty area. Yeah, not enough contact on King there. Front sleeve went down too easily. So now until last minute normal time. And then O2. I said that right at the goal kick. I'll just take his time there. See no rush at all. And Riot drills it right footed. towards the inside left. Header met from Anderson. Now Zubimendi heads onto the chest of Jesus, holds it up, now looks to his right. Mosquera on the chase. Robinson gets there first. Robinson goes down. Again, hardly any contact from Mosquera, but enough in the official's eyes to award a free kick to Fulham. So it'll be taken there on the left-hand side. About to find out how much time is left for Fulham can be put out their misery. 4 minutes of stoppage time. 4 minutes for Arsenal to try and add goal number 4. So John Leno get the goalkeeper in the Arsenal Ultras all dressed in black. And just clapping in unison at the moment. They'll be very pleased with what they're seeing. So Leno's free kick, header one from the tower, and Gabriel over Muniz. And now again, Dalman's got such good low centre of gravity. He wins the free kick. It's holding off Lukic, and Lukic had his arms all over Dalman. So it's a free kick now for Arsenal to take. Just behind her, halfway. Yeah, the Emirates in good voice. More relaxed than it was this time last Saturday, that's for sure. So free kick for Gabriel to drill left-footed, looking for Jesus. Jesus tried to just lift his right heel up in the air to control, but couldn't quite get that one on control. Jesus, that would have been a superb control if he did pull it off. Go for Castagna. Helped on from King, held up there from Muniz, and now King on the chase. Good tackle there from Calafiori. Now King gets it back. Here's Fulham into the box with King. King squares it, and that's a great interception from Mosquera. Arsenal looking to preserve that clean sheet. Lewis Skelly. And that's squared to Mosquera. He's over halfway. Short foot, Madueke. And Madueke back into his half. On to Lewis Skelly. Lewis Skelly goes down, no free kick given. Now Arsenal have it back anyway. Madueke is going straight to him from Kenny. Madueke towards the left. Trossard takes it under a spell with his chest on the bounce. Now Trossard, wrong foot's Castagna. Trossard cross towards the back post, too high for Dalman. Kusiasare just hold up Mosquera, and Mosquera keeps in play. Flicks it to Dalman. Now Dalman again keeps hold of it well. Dalman keeps Robinson at bay. Inside to Lewis Skelly, helps it on. And Jesus, the flag was up against Jesus, made his movement towards the ball. Bassi got across anyway. Looked like Jesus fouled him. I think the free kick was given for offside against Jesus. So it was a first time for Lewis Skelly. Yeah, Jesus was off. Yeah, Bassi nudged down to the ground anyway. From Jesus. And Jesus obviously is the man who led that Arsenal, sort of the Mikel Arteta first title charge, but some things have changed. Kai Havertz was that false nine. It's Victor Gyökeres this time, that leading striker, and he's got the brace. That has been vital. Arsenal's 3-goal lead this evening. Kieran Timber just watching on from the tunnel. It's a free kick on Trossard. There's a foul there from Kenny. So just 40 seconds. There's stoppage time remaining. And is there one last chance for Arsenal to get a fourth? They're not in the rush here, of course. Gabriel to take the free kick here. And just tell everyone to push up a little bit further. We'll just go direct down the channel. And Gabriel in a slow run up here. And goes to left-footed ball. Too high for Jesus. So 4 minutes almost up. 5 seconds left. Not sure Leno will have time to take the goal kick here. Mikel Arteta. Hands in pockets. Looking calm at the moment. There goes the final whistle. 3 goals and a big 3 points for Arsenal to go 6 clear of Man City in the table. Victor Gyökeres with the brace. Saka set him up for the first, and the 9th minute, low cross, and Gyökeres turned it in, middle the 6-yard box. Saka and Gyökeres combined again, this time for a Saka goal, 5 minutes from the break, and then 4th minute stoppage time. And Arsenal exploited Fulham on their right-hand side. Trossard's cross and Gyökeres headed home, and Arsenal just cruised to victory in the second half. So they've now also scored more goals than Man City and a 4-head on goal difference. Obviously Man City have got 2 extra games to play there at the Hill Dickinson on Bank Holiday Monday night. We're looking to close that gap to 3 again. Get that goal difference closed as well, but you feel like it's going to be a lot more twists and turns in this title race. There's 3 to go for Arsenal, and they stay in London for the rest of the season. It's East London for the Gunners next week. The London Stadium against West Ham. Could Arsenal maybe hand Tottenham a favour in the process? Of course, for playing West Ham next weekend. As for Fulham, they missed a chance to move to the top 7. It's Bournemouth at home next week, which is a big game for Fulham's European hopes. But finish it at the Emirates. Arsenal 3, Fulham 0. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.